Hello, Lobo Nation. Welcome back once again to the principal's office for another update video. We are so close to finally having kids back in the building. We could not be more excited. We're working very hard making sure that everything's ready for Tuesday. But I did need to spend some time giving you a couple updates on some things that I'm seeing on emails and Facebook and things like that. So just kind of going through a couple of different items and then giving you some updates on some things that are happening in the building. The first is the survey count. We ended up with a little over 50% of the students coming back to the building on Tuesday, and then a little under 50% obviously staying home. The survey is completely finalized and done for the first 6 weeks, meaning that you cannot make a change until the first 6 weeks ends. The good news is that if you want to make a change, that's only 3 weeks away. And so we'll be getting that information out to you if you would like to make a change. Probably the biggest topic that I see right now is transportation. People are becoming concerned about transportation. What I need to tell you is that if you completed the survey and answered the transportation questions, you're good. You don't need to do anything else. That's already being taken care of. If you did not fill out the survey and your student is coming next week and you need bus transportation, I need you to call transportation immediately. That number is 281-604-7177. They're taking a ton of phone calls right now, so you may have to leave a message and they will get back with you. Just know that it takes about a week to set up transportation routes. So if you're getting it in, you're already kind of a week behind. So making sure that you get with them and getting that set up is really, really important. Also, in regards to transportation, one thing that I need everybody to understand is that with our time change, going from the early bus run change to where class doesn't start until 8:30, I need everyone to understand that we're opening our doors at 8 o'clock. Meaning that if you get your student here before 8 o'clock, there will be no adult supervision for them. If you go and drop them off at the front of the building at 7:15, there will not be anyone there until 7:55. Our duty schedules have completely shifted a whole hour, and so there will be nobody on campus before 7:55 to watch your students in front of the building. I understand that can be a hardship. People have to get to work, things like that. But I just need you to understand that there just isn't going to be someone here prior to that time in order to watch students. And really, once the 8 o'clock hits, we're not going to be leaving them outside anyway. We're bringing everyone in. Everyone's going straight to their first period class. Normally in a day, when kids get here early, we put them in the commons, and they wait there, and then the bell rings, and we send them to first period. Every student, as soon as they enter the building, they're going straight to their first period class. We don't have to hold kids in one area. Breakfast is still going to be available. If your kid needs breakfast, they'll just literally come in, go straight to the cafeteria. It'll be a grab and go style breakfast. They'll pick it up, they'll take it to their first period class, and they'll eat it in their first period class. And so we aren't going to be doing any holding areas before school like we typically do. And so again, doors are going to be opening at 8 o'clock in the morning. So this next session just kind of deals with some updates of some things that are going to be happening at the school that I just want to make you aware of. We are requesting that students bring clear water bottles with them to school. We're having the bottle filler water fountains installed. Students aren't going to be able to use the regular water fountains, but we'll have the ones where they just go up with a bottle and press it up against the machine, and it'll fill their water bottle up. You've probably seen them in like municipal buildings and things like that. So we are having those installed throughout the campus, so they'll be able to fill water bottles up, because we're really not going to be letting students out to go get a drink of water, things like that. So because they can't use the water fountains anyway. And so that's just something that I would recommend that everyone get for their students. They can have that on the first day back. Also, just to reiterate, just in case there's been any confusion, every person who is in the building at Lomax Junior High will have a mask on. The only time that masks will be able to be taken off are during lunchtime when they're eating lunch, or certain aspects of PE that they'll be able to remove a mask. And that's really only when they're engaged in activity and they're engaged 6 feet away from somebody else. So I mean, there are some instances in like PE where they'll be able to remove their mask for a short period of time, and then during lunch. But aside from that, everyone in the building will be wearing masks all day. We also noticed that there were some kids that in ELA class in particular were having a hard time having a split screen of the workbook stuff that they were working on and having the teacher up on the screen beside them and doing all that at the same time. And so what we are going to do is we are going to be passing out the actual consumable ELA workbooks. If your student is coming to school, you don't need to do anything, because when they come next week, we're just going to hand them a copy. If your student is at home and they're having trouble with that split screen, then you can come up to our front office and we will check out, and it'll be yours. We will give you a ELA workbook for you to bring back home. Again, this is only for students who are staying virtual during this time, right? So if your kids come next week, don't worry about it. They'll get it here. If you want your student to have the ELA workbook, all you have to do is come to the front office. They'll check your name off a list and they'll hand you a book and then you can leave. I mean, it'll really be that fast. It's just there are some students that were really having trouble doing both that at the same time and not just having something in front of them that they could look at while they're following along with the teacher. And so we are going to provide that. But again, only students who are having an issue and are at home are the ones who need to come and get a book. Everyone who's coming next week, we will get that to you when you get here. And lastly, and maybe even most importantly, there's still about 20 of you who still have not turned in your child's immunizations. In a normal school year, they wouldn't have been able to start school at all. But there was a grace period extended because we were 100% virtual. And so now, even if you are virtual, if your student is staying home, by next Tuesday, if we do not have your immunizations, they are going to be dropped from their classes. That comes down from the state that if your student is on immunization, they cannot even participate virtually. You have to get your immunizations in, or your student is going to be removed from their classes, even if you're at home. So I'm going to show up on the screen here. Here is a place in Pasadena that is giving free immunizations right now. You can go and get that taken care of, but we really need everybody to get that taken care of as quickly as humanly possible. So if you could take care of that, I would greatly appreciate it. And as soon as you have it, you can just get it to our nurse. Here's our nurse's contact information. Okay, that's pretty much it. There will still be one more video this week. That's just going to kind of serve as a last video before we start next week face-to-face. And we'll also go over the student daily screener, the things that we're going to be asking you to do with your student to make sure that we're sending them safely to school. That'll also be on the website, but I'll add it in the next video. Again, any questions, send those to griffink@lpisd.org. I'll make sure they're included in the next video. Other than that, everybody have a great day, and we just cannot wait for Tuesday.